Hello, everyone. We are live for today's question and answer session with myself and Mr. Chris Palmer. We are sponsored by ODYS.
We?
.cc or us, me.
Us.
Someone is.
Somebody is, yeah.
And if you want expired domains or done for your affiliate websites, do check them out in the link below. But before we go into questions, now guys, do put your questions. Let me know where you're from. Do please like this channel. Also go over and have a look at Chris Palmer SEO's channel if you want to see some of his chat. But more importantly, Chris.
Yes.
It's my birthday today and I want you to sing happy birthday to me.
I did. I sang your birthday song on Facebook.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I've not even seen it, man. Man, fuck. I did. Trying to put you in the spot.
Oh man, I did already. It was as soon as I was like, wait, it's Craig's birthday today. Oh, I went and got my accordion out. I was ready.
Oh, man, I can only imagine. Did you have the tin hat on?
No.
Oh, come on, dude. I want the tin hat. I want the full treatment. Otherwise, it's not, I'm not getting the full treatment. The guys, if you're wondering what the tin hat is, actually last week before we came live, Chris, thank you very much, Holly, who's just donated a drink for me for my birthday. I appreciate it, Holly. We were just talking about you off air, Holly, how Chris is stealing you onto his show and you're not coming on mine anymore, but I appreciate the drink. But anyway, last week before the show, Chris's wife does like he's just got shit from people's houses. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to disclose this stuff, but anyway, they do stuff and they're auctioneers and stuff, right? So I'm assuming I can say that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Chris always gets his hand in some weird ass shit, and he had this fucking tin hat on before the show just to see my reaction. But it was quite funny. I just think you should do more with that tin hat, Chris. I hope you've not sold it or given it away or whatever you do with these things.
You should see what I just bought. I bought it's like from the 1800s. It's like, like those old armory guys.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those. It's official. It's like a big armor hat. Oh man, maybe I'll use that. Maybe I will use it.
You should just make it your like a brand, like some mad crazy hat. It's funny. Like I could just see you doing YouTube stuff with this fucking tin hat on all the time, man. And it was like a proper tin hat. It was no joke tin hat. This thing had dents and everything in it, so it was really funny. But forget about the tin hat. We want to know what your questions are, guys. So let us know what you want to know today. We do have a whole load of birthday wishes. I do appreciate each and every single one of them, guys. It is always a pleasure. And also even bigger pleasure that Holly's buying a drink from a true legend of the game. So I can see Holly bought me a drink. Yeah, so we're all good, and birthday is going as well as you can expect. To be honest, when you get older, I just don't really count them anymore. I just try and deny that it's my birthday and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm another year older. But while we're waiting for the questions to come in, do tell us, Chris, what have you been up to in the past week? What is going on in the world of Chris Palmer? Anything new, good, exciting?
Playing with mass page stuff lately. Other than that, no. I'm starting to I've been having some talks with some guys that do a lot of it. And man, my shifting on, they think that, and I say this, I might not agree, but they're like, man, that surfer stuff, they said, oh, that's baloney. He's like, as long as it's structured and you start pumping them out, I guarantee you'll get just as much traffic. Instead of super optimizing and focusing on that, just churn them out. that's what they do, and they're winning.
People can win with that. And what I would say is I'd probably agree to some degree that you probably shouldn't super optimize too much or get bogged down in that stuff. I think it's a great guide and great for your process and for your team to be looking at these things.
Absolutely.
But I do think people do become bogged down and obsessed with it, and optimizing the absolute shit out of everything, and to the point where you're probably going to be over optimizing it. So I think that makes a lot of sense for that person to say that. And Randy, thank you very much. Randy's also bought me a beer. I could get very drunk here. I probably get really drunk on 2 beers these days anyway, because I'm getting old, and drink is just not a big thing for me anymore. But I do appreciate it, Randy. I will have a shandy on you as well. Holly starts to saying mass page shift is hard if you can't keep them indexed. And that's another thing that's really important. Whether your man's churning them out quick, you have to do the most important thing is to keep them indexed. It's a tough old game, and you've just got to get the balance right, I think. But yeah, so what are you doing with mass pages, Chris? Are you,
playing around with the 2 sites just to see what's what. I'm really just messing with it right now. I'm figuring it out. That's pretty much playing with it just to see, is it effective? Is it something that a plumber Joe down the road can use? Is it something? I'm just playing with it, learning.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I think it still can work to some degree. Just play around and test and see how well it works for you. But curious to know what you guys in the chat think about mass page builders, and what you think about anything in general. Guys, you'll normally always get questions. All I'm getting is happy birthday messages. So please do questions. I do fully appreciate the happy birthday messages. I actually woke up today and I had like 200 Facebook posts on my, people wish me a happy birthday then across other platforms. It's insanity. But Chris is even guys, we should just do this show and just buy
birthday.
Buy me beers, every week. Appreciate it, Chris. You've done that without looking as if you were doing too much typing. Please tell me you never automated that shit, did you?
I just went over. It's already filled out. I just clicked the button and swiped it. Well, at first I swiped it all the way, and I was like, "Nah, I better not do that." And I went back down. It was like 250 or something. I was like, "Should I give him 250?" Nah, I better not.
Definitely not. Every little bit counts. But yeah, no 250s, guys. Keep it real. If you are donating, but I've had 3, so. I don't want to make anyone feel guilty, guys, but come on, up the game. So, Coed Showers is currently working in mass keyword location pages. So yeah, he's on it. More happy birthday. Holly wants me to get wasted. More happy birthday. But Twop Design has a question, and he's saying he's got access to NPC but hasn't fired it up yet. Why the hell have you not fired it up? Would love to see results. Do you guys focus in one area, like one state or even one city with suburbs? So when you're not doing your mass page build, and I know you're not claiming to be a super expert on it yet, Chris, I know you're playing about with it, but what is your thought process just now, knowing what you know, the experience you've got? Is it one state or one city with suburbs, or are you just going, fuck you, 20,000 pages?
Well, what I'm currently doing is the actual pages are, what I did is I just set up the main city pages, and then I'm doing all the suburbs. So it's really focusing on one state is really what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I think, I've had loads of guys that just lash out 20,000 pages and whatever. I think, starting small and building it out is a much wiser strategy. I know mass page builders are dangerous tools when you get them to SEOs, all sorts of shit's getting thrown out there, and, they're dominating the world or trying to dominate the world. So I think doing it hyper local, get that working and branch it out would probably be the way that I would advise you do it, but each to their own. I know people will argue with that and say, nah, go for the whole of America, blast it all out, but nah. So, yeah, that's madness. Robin or Roban, how do you keep track of everything, websites, passwords, and more? Do you have a program for this, CRM or something?
Yep.
Now, if my computer breaks, I'm in a lot of problem because I've got everything on it. So what are you using, Chris, in terms of passwords and stuff? Like, I'm using LastPass, which, you know, if my computer was to blow up, I can still log into LastPass, transfer all that information over to another computer, and so on. Are you using something like that for passwords and stuff?
I don't use that, but for the other sites and projects, I use something called ClickUp. I don't know if you've ever used it. So I just use ClickUp, and then I just set my own little, there's like little templates, like little sections in there, and I just made one section that's just mine, you know, but really what it is access to all the SOPs, videos, passwords, logins, details, emails, proxy that I use, blah, 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 blah. It's everything.
Can you share the SOP folder with us?
Sure, yeah, I've been working them out. Yeah, I'm thinking that would be good. When I was talking with somebody the other day, it finally came to the realization of what I'm doing and what I'm aiming towards is done with you SEO. It never dawned on me. So instead of mastermind or group coaching, it's done with you. I like that. I like it a lot, you know? That's where I'm aiming. I like it a lot. Done with you. I'm not going to do it, but I'll do it with you.
And he'll watch you do it.
I'll tell you what to do. You know?
Yeah. Holly's also just confirming, you know, you can't do crazy 20K pages anymore. Slow and steady is the game now. And that's coming from someone who's probably been blasting, you know, 20,000 pages out for fun for many years. You know, Holly likes to play with these things and do stuff at a massive scale. I was actually on another call before this with Randy Rodet, and we were talking about Holly and her challenge, if you like, that she put out on Facebook saying, do you think I can have 5,000 Google News websites? Oh, man. So this is a woman.
She can't.
Scale, and she's telling you to be careful now. So, but also, Holly, I do want to say there's no chance that you can do this.
That's right. It is impossible.
Prove me wrong. But nah, Holly does great stuff, and obviously saying slow and steady is the game now. And I think, you know, the days of, you know, throwing it all out there is complete madness. Shubham is saying he's getting an error, and he has to fix something. Rank Math submit no index my pages to Search Console. So what are you saying here, Shubham? You saying that you've got pages that are indexed that shouldn't be, and you're trying to then no index them? Is that what you're trying to do? And you're complaining that it takes time? Because if that is the case, in my experience, what works very well is 410ing those URLs, gets them out of the index a lot quicker than just waiting for Google to pick up in your no index tags. So a 410 on there will, boom, get it dropping out very quickly if you're struggling. So consider that little trick. But Chris, what would you say on that?
Yeah, no, there's not anything to add on that. I mean, that's a cut and dry kind of thing.
Yeah. Randy Rodestian, he uses LastPass, but it doesn't play well with Chrome. I don't have any problems with it. And I use Chrome all the time. I don't know if your Chrome is a bit dodgy there, Randy. But yeah, I've LastPass, use Chrome and not had any problems. But LastPass is.
Do you initiate SOPs for your employees? Correct. Yeah. So, and did you videoize every single thing, or did you just, okay, so I'm doing it right.
Okay. Videoized them just purely because video is a lot easier than something I'm comfortable with. Fuck typing it all out. But, you know, right. Taking screenshots and stuff when you could just talk and do a screen share video over the shoulder saying, right, here's what you do. You know, you can't go wrong if you're showing the visual on that SOP. So, and it's just easier for me. Fuck typing. I hate
it. Is easy. And then what I noticed is when you make the video, then when they want to communicate with you, he's been communicating back as with a video.
Yeah,
you know,
you mentioned this on the call. Can you show me? It's just a quick 2-minute video. Bang, there you go. That's how you do it. See you later.
Right.
So even, you know, not just SOPs, but sometimes a lot of my replies. If you ask me something, and I just can't be bothered typing a long-winded answer out, it's just a 2-minute video, Loom or whatever. And I know most people do that in our industry. Well, I think they do. So even with, you know, Ryan Durrani, who's the next guy for a question, you know, if I talk to him, sometimes, you know, it'll be, here's a Loom to show you how to do that, or here's, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I think most people communicating in that fashion just helps everyone overall. So, yeah, but Ryan is saying DWY SEO is the best way. Clients learn, makes your job easier at the same time.
I like it.
I've got a question. What the hell is DWY?
Do with you.
With you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate people that use these shorteners. It confuses the hell out of me. Apparently, it's my 45th birthday. You know, guys always, when you get older, just start chucking years and years and years onto you. I'm 33 today, everyone, not the 45 that Ryan's claiming. But yeah, I'm not really 33 either. But I'm not 45. I'm in between. What age are you again, Chris?
Well, I was just looking at me and then looking at you, and I'm thinking, damn, this dude's only 33.
No, dude, I'm not, like,
listen, man, I look old.
Listen, Chris looks old. Come on, Chris has got to look older than me. When Chris, you told me your age, honestly, when you told me your age, I went to your Facebook and I started looking at your pictures, and I'm like, that fucking dude's got to be lying, man.
No, I'm 36.
Who's having that he's 36? Come on, guys. Support me here. It's my birthday. Help me out. Kick this man while he's down. But anyway, Islam, do you think it's okay to copy product description from other e-commerce websites if they have the same product? Some people say that Google never mind it. Now, obviously what happens in a lot of cases here is e-commerce websites get the supplier list of products and they upload them to the website. So there's nothing wrong with doing that, you know, in terms of doing that. But Chris, what's your opinion on this from an SEO point of view?
I think it's perfectly fine. And in a lot of cases, I've found that you almost have to use their description. But what I've seen guys do that where maybe you have to utilize it, or is they'll use an image with that. That way they can have unique and have a different page than their competition. But yeah, as long as you're utilizing a little bit of uniqueness or a lot of bit of uniqueness, I think you'll be perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Holly's asking, do you guys use Rank Math? I have used Link Whisper. Is it similar? I've heard people talking about Rank Math. I've never actually used it. I use Link Whisper. But I thought Rank Math was like an SEO plugin, like Yoast and all-in-one. Is that right?
Yeah, like it's got schema. It's like like an all-in-one kind of a deal. Exactly. I don't really. I've been playing with it. I'm not feeling it.
Probably Rank Math. But yeah, it's not like Link Whisper. It's not doing internal links, so or anything like that. So stick the Link Whisper for that. But Rank Math.
Yeah, I had a client using Link Whisper. It's really cool. And how it like highlights it, and it's just like, hey, this word's on here, and you click it, and it's done. It's really cool. It's a cool tool.
Plus, they're always developing extra add-ons to it, so it's developed massively in the last few years. That like quirky little bits. So it's definitely a great part of my website anyway, Link Whisper. So guys, do check it out if you want something to semi-automate your internal linking. You still have to click things, but it just makes the job a lot easier. So have a look at that. Cod Showers is saying he uses Rank Math Pro. Paul Hogden is saying hello. Paul is just wading in, late as always. Happy birthday. Kazi Farhan is saying, is SEO Press still better than Rank Math? Does it let us add custom schema and such now? What about SEO Press? You using that, Chris?
Yeah, I like SEO Press. I just shared both of those to let everybody give them a try, give them a go in the group, in the Facebook group. So if you want to try them, go try them for yourself. Personally, I like SEO Press because it does have they're both good. I mean, I think it's a preference issue. But I like SEO Press better. That's just my opinion.
Again, I've always stuck with all-in-one SEO over the years.
I like all-in-one too.
I just hated Yoast because of the traffic light signal. It just made my OCD freak out a bit. I'm just like, fuck, like that needs to go green. And you know what it's like. Sometimes you can't get it to go green because sometimes you don't have to make it go green either. Orange is sometimes okay, but yeah, it's a pain in the ass that plays with my OCD. So fuck.
I hate clients who have it too. Again, they're going by the guideline. I'm like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not good. So Mithun is saying, what's your views on forum backlinks if built on relevant threads? Are they helpful?
If a link can be gathered by anybody, it's probably not going to be as beneficial as something that's harder to get, right? However, with that said, a link is a link is a link, but I don't think it's not going to be like a guest post on Craig's website. You see what I mean? If you're an SEO. So I look in other places, but I mean, it's a forum link, dude. Like, it's not.
Aim higher is what I would say.
Yeah, it's a link. Hey, if maybe you want to play around with the anchors, or whatever the case is. But other than that, it's not a powerful link. No, it's not.
It's a crappy link. Let's be honest.
It's a spam link. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for. A crappy link. I'm thinking to myself, what should I say this here?
There's no point in beating around the bush. Just see it.
Yeah.
So happy birthday again. Thank you very much. Holly, come on, man. You were always older than me. Nah. Oh my God, I'm older than Craig. I'm not sure if you're referring to me pretending to be 33, but yeah, I'm not actually 33. So I'm not sure if I am actually older than you or not. But to give you a clue, the tattoo there which says I was born in 1980 kind of gives my age away. So
5 years before me.
Yeah.
Good year.
The year before you?
No. You were in 80. I'm 85. 5 years before me.
I was going to say, how the fuck can you be 36 the year before you? What school were you at? So, Twat Design's only 372. You old fossil. Happy birthday. So Lou Smith saying, just manual, spin them and make unique. The guy, I'm not sure if this was the same guy who was talking about pages getting indexed and stuff, but should your author page be no index, Chris?
Author page, no index, yes.
There you go. Link Whisper has a new feature for linking to external website as well. Mini nets, yes, Lou, I've seen that one. And as I say, they keep adding little bits, so it's good. And Holly's got Link Whisper on our G News, and it's like a site on steroids. Man, like, have you got them on all of your websites, Holly? Like, all of the news websites that you've got, or are you only running that like on the main ones? I'd be curious to know that, because it probably is going to run into some shit fuck ton of money if you're doing that in all of these websites. Curious to know.
Mm-hmm.
Eli or Eli TP, do you recommend niche edits, and do you have a company you like to work with that you can recommend? So what's your thoughts in niche edits, Chris?
Yeah, I like them a lot. As far as recommendations of companies, pretty much anybody that you run, not anybody, but it'd be hard to just out somebody in general, but anywhere you're going to buy links, you're going to be able to find that they have other link types or link sources, and they're going to give you recommendations or be able to lead you in the right direction. So do I like them? Yes. And finding them is not very difficult.
Yeah, it's not difficult to find. I don't want to name drop anyone because some of these guys don't like to be named as the niche edit guy or anything like that for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But they are relatively easy to find. Most link vendors will be able to supply them or point you in the right direction of someone who can supply them. LinkedIn user, I run half a dozen WP sites in the same sector, so I differentiate them with a combination of all-in-one, Yoast, and Rank Math. Is that worth it, or should I just get really good at one of them? So obviously, when you're doing PBNs or whatever, Chris, would you mix? Obviously, it's wise to mix up your plugins just to avoid any kind of crazy footprints. But do you have to mix up the actual SEO plugin?
I don't worry about it. There's so many sites. I mean, I don't worry about those types of details. I'm more worried about the hosting and the registrars and those types of details, not necessarily the plugins and themes. There's billions of sites, so I don't worry about it.
Billions of websites that are probably a lot of them are a high percentage are using Yoast and all-in-one and Rank Math. So I don't see that being something that's going to instantly flag up that that's a network of websites. So as long as you mix up other stuff and avoid other footprints, then I think you'll be fine. Just to become really good at one of them, and whatever one you're most comfortable with is the one you would stick with. Like me, I've always stuck with all-in-one SEO because it was one of the first ones I used. It's been around for a long time, and it's just more of a habit than maybe me saying Yoast is crap or whatever, because it's not the case. They all do the same thing. Just the traffic light thing in Yoast annoyed me personally. So yeah, played with my OCD, and I'm assuming you've got a touch of that as well, Chris.
Maybe a little sometimes.
Maybe that for sure. Scary Farmer is tuning in late. More happy birthdays. 1980 kids are the best.
That's right.
Scottish ones are even better. Anthony is here. Twok Design is born in 1980. Everyone's born in 1980. Yeah. Apart from Holly, she was born in 1970. Nah, I'm not saying it. I was going to say Holly was born in 1970, but she'll kill me. So no, Holly was born in the 90s. But Holly's saying, why does he no index the author page? You can put links to other sites there and give juice. So why do you no follow the author page?
I think it's a matter of best practice. I mean, pages that I don't want indexed, I no index. That's the only reason. I think maybe just a matter of habit.
Or here is an alternative question. Obviously, you are going into WordPress and you're adding content. Do you even utilize your author page? Like give it, links to your social media or anything like that? Do you ever even fill that out? I don't.
On sites I have, but it's not like one of the first things, no.
Yeah.
No.
So obviously, Holly's has also got a good point. Obviously you can potentially give juice to other assets or whatever. I personally don't do it, but yeah.
I have been seeing success though on pages where they're listing the authors, filling out all the schema, and then within the pages they're utilizing those authors and almost like giving them credit as being an expert in this particular field. I don't know if it's giving me a ranking boost, but I think for entity building, it's a good thing. I think it's good. If you have the time, it's not a first priority for me though.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You could also build out author pages and add person schema.
Yo, why do I always feel like, wait, did I do something wrong when Holly asks me? I'm like, wait, what? Is this wrong? And then I started thinking to myself, no, it's best practice.
So Holly's got Link Whisper on 200 websites. Holly, I was actually thinking about your whole 5,000 thing that you published. I'm just like, what is the overall cost of the domains, the hosting, the Link Whisper, the content, the time and effort?
I think she said 60 bands, I think she said.
Yeah, fuck. Honestly, man. Listen, massive respect that you can work to those levels of scale. I've worked, when I had PBNs and stuff, hundreds of websites and stuff, and it was just a pure ball ache to manage and maintain and update and all that stuff. I think Holly should really, get a medal for being able to scale things because, listen, she scales all sorts up. The phone thing she scaled up. She works at scale, and it's a massive, massive asset, massive respect for it. I laugh because Holly doesn't do anything like just a wee little test, with a couple of phones. It's got to be hundreds or, hundreds of Google News websites. It's insanity, but yeah, I love it. Vidi Paul, are you using POP Optimizer? What's your opinion on it? Personally, I do. Not because it's any better or worse or whatever than anything else. I've used it for a number of years. I met Kyle Roof out in Chiang Mai, several years ago, and before he was famous and before he was doing his speaking and all that, and he was obviously doing POP, and I stuck with it. Again, more of a habit. I use it as a guide. I think obviously it compares the top 10 search results to the search term and gives me a goal in terms of what content I need to use, what headings I need to use, semantically related keywords. So I don't see why it's not going to benefit you. It's part of my process. I enjoy it, and I think it does a great job. But like we said earlier, do I get obsessed with it? Absolutely not. So POP is not going to give you success just by using it. It's how you use it, what you do with the data, and whether you implement all or little bits of it or whatever. And I think you've got to use a bit of common sense in there as well. So that's what I would say with any of those tools, not just POP. Any of them, don't take them as gospel. Pardon me. So Sub Handcar, do you guys think we should build tier 2 links with low traffic sites, or PBNs will work fine? I see many guest posts are on orphan pages with no internal links. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, the guest posts with no internal links, I mean, I see that quite frequently. That's why I like the pitch link inserts, right? So aside from that, as far as building tier 2s, I think that it's absolutely mandatory to build links to any links that you have. So that's my best answer for that, my friend.
Great answer. Nothing to add. Holly is saying she's a 74. I genuinely, not giving any creepy chat up lines, I genuinely didn't think you were 74, Holly.
No.
Paul Ogden's claiming, hi, come on, Paul. You were born in at least the 60s or the 50s. I'm not having you born in 73. Come on, dude. I've seen your face. Brandy, 72.
Wow. Well, I never would have thought that Holly was that age.
Nah.
She was a lot younger than that. I don't know. Is that old, though? I don't think so. I'm thinking, wait, that's only 10 years from me. That's not that old, really.
What I love, though, is somehow Holly has managed to turn this into who's the oldest in the group in the competition. But Holly, Randy O'Day is beating you. I would say Paul Ogden's going to beat you, no bother. Randy's apparently older than Paul, but Paul, mate, I'm sorry. I ain't buying that. I want to see evidence.
Yeah.
I believe all others, but I want to see your evidence. I'm only kidding. I love Paul, really. He's a good guy, man. I just like yanking his chain. Author page would be okay for eats on the person. Depends on what way you want to take that. But yeah, I get what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But yeah. There was a joke in there, but somehow it's going to backfire on me eating too much or something. So I'm not going to talk about person schema or EAT. But Belliata, Dutchland. Hi, Paul. Here, Chris. Your recent video with Holly, you both chatted about expired domains taking a long time to rank. A guy in Google Webmaster Hangouts last week commented on the same issue. What do you think is up?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I've been seeing. I mean, obviously, I would assume that Holly's doing it at a greater degree than me. It's just something I was noticing with buying domains for a whole different other reason, and then just utilizing them for other testing purposes. I don't know. I don't work at Google. I don't know. I just noticed that they're taking forever. I don't know what's up. I can't really put my finger on it. What do you think, Craig?
I'm not sure, but Paul Ogden sent me a picture of his driving license to my phone. And I can confirm that his date of birth is the 14th of November, 1953. Bloody lying git trying to say 73. What a guy, yeah? Anyway, on this, expired domains taking a long time to rank. Do you know what? I could argue all day that that's a lie as well. Sometimes I see it happening to myself. Other people I see getting expired domains moving really, really quickly.
Exactly.
So it has to come down to either the strategy of the person or how aggressive they're hitting that expired domain with content links, indexing, and everything else that they're doing in the background. Some guys will see it taking longer, some won't. Some guys will say that expired domains don't work because someone's stolen all the content and they're trying to repurpose it and it's all duplicate or it's been spammed to death. There's so many other reasons why an expired domain name might take longer to rank. So, I spoke at NamesCon last week on behalf of ODYS, and I was speaking to a friend, and I'm not going to name him because he doesn't like to be in the public eye or anything, but I know a guy who uses expired domain names every day of the week and slams them quite aggressively with a good content strategy and never has a problem in getting them. So his strategy's on point. But the perfect thing about ODYS is they're checking that their domains are not being spammed to death, not trademarked, not jackass websites. And I think a lot of the websites that don't move are down to some jackass having had the website before you, or some jackass coming in and stealing all the content off of it, and you're basically then trying to repurpose duplicate content, which is just not going to work. So I think that's my thoughts on it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Real quick on that. It brings me to 2 points, but one was, so have you found lower success with taking the content that was already previously indexed and reusing it?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to potentially, that's not really going to work that well because someone's probably likely have stolen it from you or whatever anyway. But I like to use fresh content on that particular URL, so I'll try and keep the URL the same and put something probably similar, if not better. Just structure it slightly, better, and do my own thing with it, and I get good results that way. So yeah, I mean,
yeah. And now that and something that you said before, which brings me, because the domains that I got and started immediately working on, I noticed that those are the ones that took a little bit of time, but other ones that I bought, say that I loaded WordPress on them and just let them sit, when I went back to them, they seemed to move a lot faster. So I think that's interesting. Aggression. Yeah, that's interesting you say that now that I'm thinking back. Like ones that I just started hammering, I'm like, man, this is taking forever.
Yeah. So now, listen, there's always counter arguments and people have got different things. And I think there's underlying reasons why these things are taking, some websites are taking longer than others, rather than a blanket statement saying, expired domains take longer to rank now these days. Certainly that's not the case. I can tell you that much. But that's just my opinion. Other people have their opinions on it, but it is what it is. Paul's still going on about generation, 70s generation. Holly's talking about our server costs, 150 sites per $350. It's crazy. I mean, that's a good deal, though. It's a good deal, but yeah, crazy. Holly, we can build 25 to 35 per hour. Trying to scale that to 100 an hour, which is where we're working on now. WP is really heavy, so we're looking at something else. Imagine trying to chuck out 100 news websites an hour. That is insanity. If I've ever seen it. In terms of even just trying to get that. So yeah, good job, man. Good job. Holly is officially the king or queen of scaling, because that is just obscene. Has anyone tried out Keyword Cupid? I've heard good things about it. It's a great tool. As Bella Lita says, I've got a good video on it. I've had a podcast with the owner, Leo. He's a good friend of mine. And I'm not saying it's a good tool because he's a good friend. He's a very smart guy. And that tool, in terms of what it does, I think the name Keyword Cupid kind of missells what that tool actually does, because you just think it's another keyword research tool, and that's not what it's about. It's all about the topical clusters and inputting, taking your SEMrush or your Ahref stuff in there, and actually getting a visual mind map of how Google sees, the clusters and stuff for your particular website. So a great tool. Try it out, mate. It's something you will definitely add to your mix, and it's very cost efficient. I can't remember how much it costs, but it's very cheap, put it that way. Holly's saying, I've been asked what the end game of the 5K websites is. I think what I'm building now is a half network of G News websites. So like niche edits, guest posts, Fiverr gigs, etc. I mean, obviously these news websites and everything are working really well in terms of even just PR, building brands and all that stuff. So it's you're building assets, Holly, which I think is really smart. So yeah, I think it's all good stuff that you're doing. But guys, keep the questions coming. Lou Smith is saying thank you to Bella Lita. Holly Starks, did his face just say I was super old? POP and tools are like reading an X-ray. I wouldn't agree with that. Would you say they're that difficult to use, Chris?
No, it's not at all. Not at all. Now, Quora, on the other hand, I mean, that's got some, I'd say that's more like an X-ray, but Page Optimizer, Surfer, easy as pie.
I think they're easy. I mean, I also did. I remember getting Quora, heard people talking about it, and I looked at it, and I'm just like, fuck. I can't even be bothered reading my report.
So much.
That much stuff on it. But amazing if you want to get all geeky and get really down into the dirty stuff. I think Quora, is the leading
creme de la creme, yeah.
if you want that level of data. But others, POP and stuff, I think it's just very simple and easy. And I've found VAs and content writers that are not necessarily in my office can use it very well. So I don't think it's particularly hard. Maybe I've just got a weird knack of being able to read things easier. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's simple. So have a look at it again and try and simplify it in your head, because sometimes you look at things and you're just like, man, that's hard work. But yeah, each to their own. White hat is the next black hat.
Okay. I think it's all the same, really. It's black hat maybe gets more views, but at the end of the day, it's all the same, really, to me.
Yeah. No, it's all the same shit. It's just kiddie on names for people that work in agencies and people that don't, really. That's the way I see it. So, I quite enjoy being called a dirty black hat, and whatever gets thrown at me, I take that as a compliment. It just means that I know what I'm doing. And I'm pretty sure most people that are in that position don't mind being labelled the black hat. So, yeah. Anyway, SEO Cliff. I was in SEO, learned a lot about digital marketing still. Can we say SEO is now digital marketing, branded with a new name, or is SEO still a separate thing? So how do you see SEO, digital marketing? They're not the same thing, in my opinion, but I would like to know your thoughts on it, Chris.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think if we're looking at things as a category, right, I would say that marketing is the ultra, and then it's internet marketing, digital marketing, and then there's subsets, social media marketing and SEO and content marketing. But I think they're different things, obviously. That's why one's digital marketing and one's search engine optimization, two different things.
A corporate client say to someone, like, we need to work in our digital marketing. That could be paid search, it could be anything. Social media, it could be email, it could be anything that's digital related. Whereas SEO is a very, very specific skill set or segment of that. So I think, in my opinion, it's a separate thing. The same way that pay-per-click or YouTube SEO, these are all different things that come under that digital marketing brand. And I think for any business, they should do digital marketing than just SEO. For sure, I think having that mix is right. So, and that's maybe where that whole people think it's all the same thing. But essentially, if you look under the hood of digital marketing, you've got SEOs fighting for the budget, you get pay-per-click guys fighting for the budget, and so on, and everyone's fighting for that pie of digital marketing, and these are all individuals all fighting for that budget. So that's why it has to be seen as separate, in my opinion.
It's harder to get people off PPC.
Yeah.
And get them over to, like, if we work now and 6 months from now, you're going to win. It's a bitch, man.
especially when like 10 other guys before you have told them that same bullshit and not actually produced. So I get it. It's a hard one. Vicky Verma, does good UI help in SEO, Chris?
I think, I don't think it's a direct ranking signal. However, if the users are happy and getting exactly what they want and they're sticking around, I think in the long run, it's going to increase your SEO overall. Yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't help directly, but it indirectly does.
That's right.
I think is the perfect answer there. So yeah. I can't even see it. Perpetual Corn, hello sir, what PBN hosting would you recommend for a beginner who's actually Perpetual Corn with a very tight budget? Is there such a thing as a good PBN host with a very tight budget? Holly might be able to give us some suggestions as well, because she's using loads of different hostings, I'm assuming, for her network of websites. But Chris, do you use PBN hosting?
I don't use PBN hosting. I just buy VPSs.
So what I would say is I would stay away from someone who claims to be a PBN host. People like Holly and everything else are just using a whole bunch of different hosts for their assets, and that's what PBNs are essentially. And just try out different ones that are cost effective, that load fast, that can handle the websites that you're putting on there. So there you go.
Go if he's on a budget, go to Low End Box. You'll find cheap stuff over there. Real cheap, actually. Super cheap.
Yeah.
Be careful. Sometimes cheap isn't always good.
And the Holly has had to go back to work, but it's been a pleasure as always, Holly. She's always in there adding value. So we do appreciate it, Holly. And Perpetual Corn, as I say, just go to whatever cheap hosting you can get and try and scale up from there. Talk Design, what do you do to get to $1,000 a month as fast as possible with SEO, Chris? So if I put a gun to your head and said, I need £1,000 a month as quick as possible, this is getting triggered, what would be the first thing you would do to make $1,000?
Look for a client.
Just look for a client.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd pick up the phone and start calling people.
Yeah.
Seriously, literally.
I think everyone's always going to give a different answer of how they do it, whether that be going and stealing some GMBs and doing some lead gen very quickly. But I think client money is very quick and very easy to get, and you can get that money up front, whether that be selling a website that's going to be designed or whatever. So, but with SEO, the opportunities really are endless. Whether that be lead gen, whether that be hijacking GMBs, taking a client on, or actually just going out and selling some SEMrush and getting 40%, or selling someone else's courses. I was within about 2 or 3 weeks, I was very quickly able to rinse $1,000 off of Chris by, putting out some of his courses across some of my stuff. And
I think I was just going through my taxes. I think you did get about $1,000 off me.
Do you want me to show you him? off of you.
I thank you for that, actually. I was
I actually
happy.
took more than $1,000. I actually took you for about 4.
Did you?
Yeah. So
Thank
it's
you.
4. Chris Palmer.
10.
that was me with one bit of promotion. That's not something I pushed that hard. Now, the reason I'm saying do something like that is the way I see it. If my back was against the wall and I needed to make money, go and sell someone else's shit very, very quickly. Why would I want to sit and make a course or do this or do that when I don't have to? It's actually not $3,000, Chris. It's actually $2,000 I made very, very quickly, and it was all done. In fact, I'll show you guys. I can share the screen. And it was all done very, very quickly. And it was done as a bit of a joke. But as I say, I thoroughly enjoyed taking Chris's money right off him. So you'll be able to see here, it was all pretty much in the month of August and September. And you'll be able to see the joke started about here. And yeah, I was able to make a few quid through September. And obviously there's been a few dribs and drabs that have come in after that. However, that is probably the quickest way that I would see making money, is using someone who's got something that I can sell the shit out of very, very quickly. And you can do that month on month. I think I done one email shot for you and put a video out and stuff like that. It wasn't anything hard graph for me. It was very, very easy, and I took him for $2,000. So I could have done that month on month, or whatever, and been able to scale that up a lot more. Obviously, I didn't want to spam my people with buy this, buy that, but
yeah, and that's the best. I love affiliates, because then not only that, those are buyers.
Yeah.
I now have their email. You know what I mean? It's it's beneficial for you, beneficial for me, beneficial for whoever got the information. It's a nice little circle there,
Yeah. So that is how I would quickly, that would be my answer. Long-winded way to do it, but as I say, take advantage of someone smarter than you that's done all the legwork and sell that shit. So there you go. LinkedIn user, in your chat yesterday, you're talking about monetizing websites in various ways. I do mine through affiliates, and I know for a fact some of my key advertisers don't track or validate everything they should. When you're sorting your when you're doing your sort of volume, do you lose sleep about it, or just chalk it up to experience? I'm not sure if that's you or me he's talking about, Chris. Done a webinar. It might have been me yesterday, but I know what you're saying. You don't always get the credit you deserve from doing affiliate marketing. It depends on the cookie policy. A bit of trust has to go into play. Did I track Chris Palmer and everything that I sent over to him? Now we've got a tracking link, and I should get the credit for every sale. Do I lose sleep that he'd maybe stolen one or two from me? Absolutely not. I didn't even give it a second thought. Why would he? Why bite the hand that feeds you? Yeah, however, sometimes with crappy cookie policies and various other bits and bobs, sometimes you don't get the credit you deserve. I think that's where you have to just use your brain and say, like, Chris is not going to fuck me over. Chris has said, Craig, can you help me promote my course? Yes, Chris, no problem at all. He's given me a Podia link, bang, do it. And I can see the sales that I got and who bought it and what I get paid and all of that stuff. It wouldn't be worth his while to steal one or two from me. So I don't lose sleep over that. But as I say, other people with kind of weird cookie policies, they are designed to basically fuck you up and take a lot of your traffic and pay you, 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever. So you do have to be wary of it. It does happen. It has happened to me. It has really bloody annoyed me. And that's why I don't really work with that type, because if I find out someone's doing that to me, then I'm not going to be a happy man. So I just think you've got to trust people and hope for the best. And as I say, someone could steal a couple of clicks from you, but again, what would be the point in them doing that? I make money. I get a drive traffic. He makes money. I get my share. everyone's happy, and that's the way it should be. So a thief's always going to be a thief, and they'll get caught out in the end, and I just wouldn't worry too much about it. Just throw them in the bin, and they'll never get that kind of opportunity again from other people, because
that's not a long play. That's a short play, you know.
Yeah. While you're going to retire and you want to rob someone for a few bucks and sail off into the sunset, use that strategy. But yeah, I'll still hunt you down. But nah, I'm only kidding. But that is the answer to that one. With no budget, you can map your PBN with things like G Sites and Blogger. You don't pay for hosting then. So that was Holly referring to the chap that was working with a budget. Viddy Paul, I need 5 links with exact match anchor. So is it better to get an exact match anchor guest post than 4 PBNs to that guest post with an exact match anchor instead of 5 guest posts with the same anchor? I think you're overthinking the anchors.
Yeah, I'm thinking that to myself. Don't waste those links. I'll tell you that much. If you're going to buy a link or you're going to link in of something of quality, make sure you're using the keyword that you need. I see guys buying stuff, or clients that I've seen. I'm going through their links and I'm like, wait a minute, you paid $200 for this link and it says click here. No, don't do that, guys.
Nah, definitely not. Here is an answer, not a question. The other week, all my account with 30 GMBs was suspended. I lost the lead gens, but DOD get back my legit business.
Gens, but you got back the good ones.
Yeah.
Every quarter, I notice there's some type of hiccup. Just keep that stuff separate. Keep everything separate. You'll last a lot longer.
Mateos Della. Hello, Craig. I have a question about SEO. Who has the best SEO tattoo in the world? It would be great if you could answer. Thank you. So I'm covered in tattoos, as probably many of you seen. Have you ever saw a guy with an SEO tattoo, Chris?
No, I have not. Why, do you have one?
No, I don't have one. But I met Mateus out in Poland last year. I've met him a few times. I've been to Poland for the last couple of years for an event. A great bunch of guys, by the way. And I was talking to Mateus when I was there, and we both like tattoos. We both get tattoos. And he's like, Craig, have you ever seen anyone with an SEO tattoo? And I'm like, nah. And he went, why don't we come up with, we both get an SEO tattoo? And I'm like, I wouldn't mind, because SEO's been good to me. I'm not scared to get an SEO tattoo. And he's like, right, let's do it. And we actually agreed on a date, which was the 1st of February, which was my son's birthday, which is tattooed in my hand, which was Monday. Now, obviously, with lockdown and everything else, tattoo parlors are closed. However, and I'm not sure how he done it, but Mateus has a big SEO tattoo on the inside of his arm, which says SEO established 2006. So Mateus officially is the first guy that I know personally with an SEO tattoo, and it looks $1 million. And I'm going to get one when the tattoo shops open. I'm going to get an SEO tattoo, because we agreed on it. We shook hands on it. This was a very drunken, crazy-ass conversation, but he stuck to his words, and he fucking messaged me, phoned me, all that stuff, like, where are you? Why have you not got it? But yeah, I'm going to get an SEO tattoo, so, but he wins that one. So there you go. That's the story behind that question.
I couldn't do it. Oh, I'm so scared.
Man.
I'm too scared. I'm chicken.
So Subanker has got a question. For e-commerce site, do you think it's good to build links directly to the product page, or build links to a blog post and then inner link from those blog posts to the inner pages?
Both. You build links to the pages you want to rank.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
John, happy birthday. Thank you very much, John. Final question we've got for today is from Viddy Paul. When I'm building a PBN network, should I change IPs? I don't have proxies. So
For
if
logging in?
PBNs, would you be jumping in and out different IP addresses?
Are you saying, like, is he saying logging into each account? Do I keep them separate when I'm logging into each account and performing work inside the server and whatnot and browsing or whatever? Yes. I use a VPN though. I have a VPN, 2 of them actually.
What VPN do you think's best for that type of thing?
I've been using Nord and IP Vanish.
No, Nord's what I use Nord personally, but I was just curious to know if I was missing out on something. But yeah, Nord's good because you can fucking
and then you can save the locations.
Yeah.
Same deal. It's really cool. And they have those are the 2 that have some of the biggest, Ghost was pretty cool, but then they got, the price came up too high. I was using Hide My Ass. Yeah, Hide My Ass.
I used that years ago and then moved to Nord. Hide My Ass was a bit funky for a while. It went a bit weird, and that's why I jumped out and got Nord. But yeah, I've stuck with Nord. I've never had any problems with it. So
I like Hide My Ass. You can always find those codes online, and then you change the not the last digits, but the first digits. Just start switching around. Sometimes they'll log in. It's kind of fun,
And you're always just looking for a crooked way in the door.
Why is this? I don't know why. It's funny. My wife said that to me. Why are you doing this, Chris? It's $2 a month, Chris. I was like,
you're just wired up the wrong way. It makes you excited that you're getting one up on Hide My Ass.
I think
yeah. Fuck. It's
Fox, baby.
But we do have one little final question before we go. We are going after this one, guys. Does making exact match link help in ranking, or should it be a variation? And if I'm publishing articles and guest posts, should I get exact match or other types of links? So, Chris,
your most powerful links, if you can, it's hard sometimes. You want to get exact match of whatever the page it's going to. A lot of times, though, when you're buying links, sometimes you can't suggest what you want, and they'll do your brand name. So that's usually what I'll go for. Either brand or exact or a variation of the keyword is what I'm going to aim for. But your most powerful exact, if I can't get that, then I'll go brand. Never generic, never naked. Well, naked's fine. But usually branded or exact is what I shoot for.
Good answer. And on that note, guys, we are finished for today. Thank you very much for all the questions, all the birthday wishes, and everything else. We will be back at the same time next week. Do make sure that you give us a little like and subscribe here. If you're interested in more videos, I've got a whole bunch, but Chris Palmer SEO also does have a whole bunch on his channel, so you can go over and see what he's talking about on there. And finally, if you need an age domain or done for you affiliate website, check out ODYS, and we shall see you again next week, guys.
And put your keywords in the speakable schema. Try it out.
I'm going to ask you, Alfred, what that means.